Hello, and happy Straturday, friends. Psyberry here with another Darkest Dungeon How to Use guide. Before we get started today, thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and share this guide with a friend. We are on our way to 1,000 subscribers. We're almost halfway there, and you can be a big part of that, and I will appreciate it forever. Just click the little subscribe button down at the bottom. Alright, let's just get down to it. Today we're going to take a deep dive into how to play the Illuminator. The Illuminator was released March 8th, 2021, and updated last on May 22nd of 2021. So this is very, very recent. The canon name of the Illuminator is Adam. Let's breeze through the credits real quick here. Fantasy Forge Group did the original concept and lore behind this class. Azar did the beginning concept art. Moldy Waffle did art and animation. Aletherion did coding and the backbone of the mod. Ralt did code tweaks and maintenance. And Rhett and Shay provided sounds. So let's start like we always do and just take a dive into the base stats. Max HP is going to start at a 30 at first resolve and move to a 54 at max resolve, going up by 6 at each level. This is a high HP stat, and it's very comparable to the Man-at-Arms. Matter of fact, it's just 1 HP short of the Man-at-Arms throughout the entire lifetime of this mod. So you're going to find it's pretty tanky. Dodge starts at 0 and will move up by 5 to a max of 20 at max resolve. This is below average. This is the same as an Arbalist or a Leper. So you're not going to find him dodging a ton, but it's still not so low that it's problematic in any way. It grows at the normal rate, so there's not much to worry about there. Prot is normal as you would expect. Speed is going to start at 4, and at third resolve it is going to move up to a 5, and it move up to a 6 at final resolve. This is above average speed. This is very comparable and the same as the Hellion and Vestal. So it's possible he's going to go quickly, but it's also possible he's going to roll low and, tie the Leper, so to speak, for speed. The accuracy mod is a 0. This is normal, nothing to really be worried about here. The crit is actually really high. It's going to start at a 5 and progress to a 9% at maximum resolve. This is the same as the Hellion and the Highwayman. There's only a few classes that have better crit than this. There's the Arbalist, I think Grave Robber is one of them, if I'm not mistaken. But only by 1%, so you're going to find a decent amount of crits with this class. And finally, the damage starts out at 6 to 10 at first resolve, and it will move to a 10 to 18 at max resolve. I consider this high for frontline damage. It's very comparable to the Crusader and the Shieldbreaker, and as a matter of fact, it's most comparable, I would say, to the Shieldbreaker's damage, because all the way up the damage by resolve level, the Illuminator and the Shieldbreaker share maximum damage values, but the Illuminator will do 1 higher minimum damage. So instead of a 5 to 10 at opening resolve for a Shieldbreaker, it will be a 6 to 10 for the Illuminator. Same at the high level, 10 to 18 instead of 9 to 18. So you're starting to see a picture here of a pretty well stat distributed character that's going to be very tanky and have high damage and crit, above average speed, and overall the only real weakness is a below average dodge. So let's start now just looking through the combat skills with the first one, Sever Shadows. Sever Shadows is usable from rank 1 or 2 and can target rank 1 or 2 enemies. It's a melee attack with an accuracy base of 80, a crit modifier of plus 4%, and will do full 100% damage. This bypasses stealth and will de-stealth. It will increase the torch by 5, and it will do 7% more damage per 25 light. So if you have 100% light when you select this move, you will do bonus damage equal to 28%. If you have 75 light or more, but not 100, it will be 20%, 21% bonus damage. And it will also do +4 accuracy per 25 dark. When it says 25 dark, it's basically just counting backwards. So if you have 25% light exactly, it's going to count in reverse for 12 accuracy, if that makes sense. So basically, you can run him in the dark or in the light and get different results. And the final thing here is it's going to have a -1, -2, or -3 HP in these different light values. So if you're running him in the high light, you're going to get bonus damage. Your accuracy is going to be a little nerfed, and you're going to take -3 HP. The second ability is Empyrean Halo. It's usable from rank 2 or 3, and you can target any opposing space. This is a ranged attack with an accuracy base of 95, a damage modifier of -80%, and a crit mod of +6%. This also bypasses stealth. It'll give you a +2% crit per 25 light, so this could crit a ton if you are running in high light comps. And it's going to have a 15% debuff chance per 25 light. Or, 25 dark. So, the darker it is, the more debuff chance you're going to get for this debuff down below. It's going to -1 HP in high light, 76% light. The debuff attached is going to be a -15% stun resistance with a decent base debuff value, and a -10 dodge, and a crits received +8 debuff. This is a single target debuff, and if you're running in a dark comp, this is actually a really good debuff. This is going to, increase the amount of crits they're going to take. They're not going to be able to dodge you much, and if you just want to stun them to stall a turn or buy yourself time to get a healer healing someone, this is a good way to do that, especially in dark comps. Otherwise, you could just go crit fishing with this in the highlight. The third ability is Pilgrim's March. It is usable from rank 2, 3, or 4, and it targets both rank 1 and 2 enemies. This is a melee attack, and will move the Illuminator forward 1 rank. Has an accuracy base of 85, a damage modifier of -60%, and has no crit mod, so it'll, crit normally. Alright, this will damage reflect 35 or 60% in 51 or 76 light for 3 rounds. So it will attach damage reflect onto the Illuminator, and the value of that will depend on if you were in middling light or high light when you use this move. This will give 10 torch if you are between 25 and 76 light, and your speed will increase by 2 or 4 if you are in the dark, basically. This will also deal damage to the Illuminator for 1, 2, 3, or 4 HP in these different light values. So you can see now with a couple of these moves that in the highlight, doing these moves is going to cost the Illuminator some HP, of which he has a ton, but it's going to take that high degree of tankiness and kind of pull it back to a reasonable, average level of survivability. But if you were on the opposite end, if you were running in dark comps, he's actually much more survivable in that kind of comp. The fourth ability, Embrace the Light, is usable from rank 1 or 2, and it targets both rank 3 and 4 opponents. This is a ranged attack with an accuracy base of 90, a damage modifier of -100%, and no crit modifier. This bypasses stealth and will de-stealth both targets, and this will stun with 100% base. Now this stun will be improved by 20% if you are between 25 and 76 light, but the accuracy will improve if you are above or below 75 or 26 light. So if you were at the extremes of light or darkness, you will have a higher accuracy with this move. But if you are in the middle range of light, you're going to have a much improved stun chance, and I would say a really good stun chance to boast. This has a cooldown for 2 rounds, so you will not be able to select this move in the next 2 turns, and this will debuff targets. It'll disable stress skills if the torch is below 50, and it'll give a -4 speed debuff if torch is below 50. These debuffs are at 100% base, so they're actually going to hit constantly, unlike the numbers listed here, but keep in mind these debuffs are going to be very, very buffed up if you are doing them in the dark. Alright, the 5th skill is Flicker. It is usable from rank 1, 2, or 3, and you may target any enemy on the enemy side. It is a ranged attack with an accuracy base of 90, a damage modifier of -40%, and a crit mod of +3%. This bypasses stealth, like many of his attacks do. Now it says here it'll knock back 2 with a 90% base, or pull 2 with a 90% base. This will push if below 51 light, and it will pull if above 50 light. So if you are in high light comps and you want to use this, this will pull the enemies closer to you. If you were in low light comps, this will push enemies away from you. And if you were especially polarized on those light levels, you will have a +30% move chance, as it says, above 75 light or below 26 light. This will also have, alternatively, 100% armor piercing if between 25 and 76 light. So you can play these games with your light values with a few of these moves, this being one of them, and get different results. The light flickers, you will also add 10 torch when you select this move, and if you are using this move in 76 light or higher, you will deal 1 HP damage to the Illuminator. Now the 6th ability is Saint's Blade. It is usable from rank 1 or 2, and can target rank 1 or 2 enemies. This is a melee attack with an accuracy base of 80, a damage mod of -20%, and a crit mod of +8%. This will do an additional 10 accuracy versus unholy or eldritch enemies, and this is going to have different party effects based on your light value. The party is going to recover 2 stress if below 51 torch. So if you're in the dark, you're going to heal your entire party, including the Illuminator, for 2 stress. If you were in high light, 50 torch or above, it will instead give a buff for -10% stress received if above 50 torch. And these scale pretty good according to level, especially the buff does. I think it'll get to about I hope somewhere around a 20%, but right now my level 4 one should be somewhere around 17, less stress received. So this is a cool little party buff, but also attack move. And the 7th ability here is Remold. Now, you'll notice if you are doing the level up skills that Remold does not have a leveling up different ranks. It's forced to stay in rank 1. This is intentional by the creators because it's potent enough as it is. What it does is it's going to target yourself, more or less. You're going to self-stun with a chance of 140%. So this is going to stun you pretty often if you were at low level, but it's going to affect you less often as you get higher level. It's still very, very potent, so it'll probably still happen, but you have a chance of avoiding it at high level. But the important bits that it does, it will clear mark on Illuminator, it will cure Blight and Bleed, it will clear debuffs, and heal 25% of his max HP. So this is a good reset maneuver, and I'm probably going to have it equipped when I run out into the dungeon here in a bit. Alright, let's breeze through the camping skills real quick. He has Encourage, Wound Care, and Pep Talk, as you would expect on most of these classes, and the first camping skill that he has that's unique is Prey to the Flame. This is a time cost 2 ability, and he will target himself, remove 20 stress, and give himself a buff for minus 10% stress for the next 4 battles. So this is a very good preventative measure, but it's also a very good stress relief measure. So, you know, you kind of, when you're using this, you kind of want to camp fairly late or in the middle of your run. The second unique camping skill is Candlelight Vigil. It's a time cost 4 ability, and you will prevent nighttime ambush with this, and the party, if not religious, will heal 10% HP, but if religious, will heal 25% of HP. This is probably one of the better prevent nighttime ambush abilities if you frequently are low to middling HP when you normally camp. Usually the thing I have to worry about when I go to camping is stress level, but if HP is the other trigger there that you run into a lot, this might be a good way to solve that. The third camping skill is Brace Against Foulness. This is time cost 3, and targets himself, and he will buff himself minus 20% stress for the next 4 battles, plus 40% move resistance for the next 4 battles, and plus 20% prot for the next 4 battles. This is very good preventative measure if you think you're going to get into some problems and you just want to limit the damage coming in on your Illuminator in pretty much all forms. And his final unique camping skill, Dedication to the Light. This is a time cost 1 camping skill. The Illuminator himself will suffer 15% HP damage when you use this, and this will produce 1 prayer candle, which is a unique provision for the Illuminator that is kind of a seems like an immediate buff that you can use on an ally turn, which maybe I'll use in the dungeon if I remember. Let's see, what else do I need to talk about before I go to those trinkets? The crit effect will heal the Illuminator 10% of his max HP. So it's linked to his max HP, meaning you're going to get better and better results out of critting as far as the heal is concerned as you level up. So you're going to start off getting, 3 crit, 3 HP heal on a crit, and at end level, depending on how you're trinketed, it'll be 5 or maybe even 6 or 7 HP crit, which is pretty potent. Let's see. Alright, let's talk about quirks real quick. What would I lock on the Illuminator? When I see the Illuminator skills, I want to go out in a high light situation. And I know that means that I'm going to take damage every time I'm using these skills, at least most of the skills. I just keep in mind that I'm going to be healing him semi-regularly, and if he crits, he'll be healing himself. So I dedicate him to high light comps, and so Warrior of Light is good for me. If you want to take him out in low light comps and get different results out of these moves, then Lurker would be the opposite for you. But otherwise, he's pretty much split, depending on what you want to use, between melee and ranged attacks. He's kind of... actually, I think he's exactly 50-50 in that regard. So yeah, I would definitely recommend sorting it by the light level that you were going to be going instead of the ranged or melee option. Otherwise, unless you were planning on buffing his dodge in some way, trinket-wise as well, I actually would not put many of those quirks on him. I would instead resort to prot or other buffs in that regard. But he's actually kind of an enigma for me to try and decide what quirks I want on, just because he's, I don't know, his combat skills are very interesting and kind of present a puzzle of sorts for me to solve. But otherwise, let's dive into his trinkets real quick. I believe they're at the top. Yep. I don't have all of his trinkets. I believe the mod comes with something like 9 or 10, but I do not have them all. First one we're going to talk about is the Shattered Prism, the crystalline trinket. This is going to make it so that he's going to receive 10% more crits than he should, and when he is critting, it's going to buff him. So on an attack crit, he will buff himself to give 10% more crits while the torch is between 26 and 75. And he's also going to receive 100% bonus on healing received with crits. Keep in mind, when he crits, he's going to heal himself for 10% of his max HP. So this is going to double that. And also, the normal crit stress heal, this is going to double in potency as well. So basically, what's happening here is, when you crit, you are getting a buff to further crits as long as your torchlight is between those middle numbers. And you're going to have way more potent heal and stress heal from it. So it's going to start snowballing in the amount of crits you're going to get as long as you're in those middle numbers, which is going to keep you very, very alive and healthy. So this is a interesting way to play, and it synergizes well with his moves. The next one we're going to talk about here is the rare trinket, Blessed Kindling. This is going to change how Flicker operates. It's going to give Flicker 10 accuracy and a bonus 50% move skill chance. In exchange for, Flicker will do 10% less damage than before. Flicker is the push/pull move, so getting that bonus 50% to move skill chance is going to give you a lot of utility, regardless of what light level you're in, because you're only getting that bonus to push or pull at the high light level. So you can actually operate with this in the middling light tier and still get a lot of push and pull. And keep in mind, in those middle light tiers, you're going to do 100% armor piercing as well. So that minus 10 damage is kind of negligible depending on how you run and what light condition you are running in. The next one we're going to talk about here is the Extra Wax Shell, which is the uncommon trinket. It's going to give 15% prot and 15% stun resistance in exchange for a minus 10 dodge and minus 2 speed. So this is not bad for a defensive and rather common trinket. So it's very good in early game. I probably wouldn't put it on a lot because I don't really think super defensively about my Illuminator, but it is nevertheless pretty good. The first of the common trinkets here is the Perforated Snuffer. It's going to remove 25% of his stun skill chance with the stun skill, but it's going to add 25% debuff skill chance to that same skill, and others. And it will also make his torch skills 50% less effective. So if you're not bothered by your torch skills not being as effective, you can still get some decent stun utility out of that stun skill. Keep in mind, where was it? You're getting bonus stun at the middling light levels. So, I don't know, that extra 20% stun and then minus 25% from the trinket, you're still at just 5 below normal base stun value. So you're going to get some actual decent potency with this still attached. And all of his debuff skills will be increasing by 25%. So it's actually not a bad trade-off. The last one we're going to go over here real quick is the Steady Candle Holder. The other common trinket, it's going to have minus 50% torch burn rate and +5 accuracy. Making your torches last longer is going to not only be cheaper on your party and more effective for them, but it's also going to keep him in certain light categories longer without having to reapply another torch. And the trinket I'm going to be equipping here has a similar effect. The Ember of the First Flame, very rare trinket, also has that -50% torch burn rate, but it will also apply 50% damage reflection on the Illuminator and give him 30% armor piercing. And if he was hit, the torch is going to reduce by 10. So this is, I don't really like the unpredictability of when I'm hit, the torch goes down, but I'm going to try it out, and I'm going to run with a guard comp. I'm going to be guarding him so he won't be hit very often, hopefully, and so torch will be pretty stable. But let's, what level are we? One of us is really high level, but we're middle. Okay. So we're going to find a quest here to just go on real quick. And I really don't know how this party's going to work. I assume it's going to be pretty decent, but it could surprise me with really low potency.
I knew all these paths once. Now they are as twisted as my own ambitions.
Hey, there's a fight. Let's do it. Hey, you ugly mutts. Alright. The first thing we're going to try and use is... Oh no, we don't have anybody in the back, huh? Well, we're going to try and flicker. We're in highlight right now, so we're going to try and pull somebody. So I'm going to try and pull you.
The light. The promise of safety.
Alright, we're gonna hit breakthrough.
As the fiend falls,
Hella potent.
hope blossoms.
And we gotta bleed because of the trinkets. And we're gonna stun you. Try and get a second turn out of it. Well, I'm gonna guard him even though there's no need to, just so that I can get in the practice of it. Alright. I don't need that. Let's go Hound's Rush.
Annihilated.
Oh. Oh. Dirty.
These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
I don't see nothing popping up here. I'm actually going to loot this. We're gonna go
And now,
dark.
the darkness holds dominion.
And I think I'm gonna leave it dark to try and figure out how the moveset changes. Just to see that I'm right about shit, I suppose. Because I haven't done enough testing to really know what I'm doing with this character yet. And
Nature herself.
he's complicated as shit, and even talking about his skills is complicated.
With misintent.
But it's a very, I don't know, it's a very fun way to think about a character, so...
A handsome reward.
Doing the legwork never really feels bad, so to speak. Okay, we're gonna go in with low torch, and we're gonna see if the knockback works like I think it does on that one move. Alright, let's bleed everybody, or literally miss everyone. That's fine too. Okay. Flicker you.
Continually
I don't have to worry about
destroy them.
any knockback because he's dead. Hey. Hey now.
Well struck.
Did not kill, but the bleed might. Nope, it's only one. F***ing figures. Kill you. There it is. We are indeed going to heal. Not that we all needed it,
Great is the weapon that
but a few of us could have used it. Oh my god. Why is the Houndmaster broken? Yeah?
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Alright, well, I mean, Silver Shadows.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Probably my favorite of his moves. because it's also going to be increasing the torch.
Victory.
So,
But a
I don't
victory nonetheless.
really need this. Let's go back into High Torch. Is there another move I want to put on real quick here? Pilgrim's March might be fun. We're going to get rid of Flicker for Pilgrim's March. We've shown it a few times. Alright, battle number 3, here we come. Gonna have to go down a few hallways here, but it's fine. Yeah, looting. Wood. Okay, I'll let it go down. It's fine. That was much farther than I thought it was. Okay. There's nothing like taking a step on the grid in these dungeons and only losing 3 light. That's pretty potent. Alright, we're gonna try and embrace the light. We're gonna try and get a double stun. But I want that stun chance, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull the light down just to guarantee these stuns. Oof, that is dope as hell. Alright, let's go for bleed. Let's go for broke. Alright, we are going to stun you. Then I think I'm going to get a few prep kills here. Oh no, she's already in the front. Well, let's kill you. You're not stunned.
Decimated.
Come on now. Alright, let's use that new move. Oh, you're gonna go first? Okay, that's fine, I guess.
Eradicated.
Oh my god. Why not? Let's get everybody at full HP.
But never hidden.
No, leave him alone! Torch went down by 10. That's unfortunate. Let's cry Havoc. Yeah. Alright, Pilgrim's March. One of them's a corpse, so it's not all that impressive, but
Press disadvantage.
does decent damage. The whole front rank. It's a fun time. Alright, well.
A powerful blow.
KO! Cool. I think this party actually has some decent potential, because I've got the stress heal here, and then also you're guarding the Illuminator, so you're not losing light. Interesting. Well, I encourage you to check out the Illuminator. It's a very complex class to learn. There's a lot that goes into each of these moves. But if you stare at it long enough and you parse it out, it's not as complex as you're led to believe by these long descriptions. And I encourage you to play it, because it's going to have a different, interactions. Each run you go on, you can fiddle with it until you find a way to play them that you enjoy. So check out the Illuminator. That's about it. We're going to be back again with another guide video next Saturday. There's a Let's Play coming up on Wednesday. And yeah, I'm going to get to editing this now. So thanks for watching. Stay frosty.